Song for a Whale, Chapter 37. Benny suggested we go swimming the day the ship was docking in Icy Harbor. The pools wouldn't be as crowded as they usually were, since a lot of people would be leaving the ship for a few hours. Luckily, Grandma had told me to pack a swimsuit before we left home. It hadn't occurred to me I'd need one on a ship that would be sailing past glaciers, but the pools on board were heated. Grandma didn't want to swim, but she would sit out on the deck and read right after her Zumba class. Benny was right. The pool wasn't crowded at all. A few people sat around in the hot tub, and one man sat on a floating chair in the pool, a beer can in the chair's cup holder. I jumped in and swam the length of the pool, then floated on my back. It had been so long since I'd been swimming. When we lived at the coast, we used to go out all the time. Tristan and I would body surf the waves or float in our inner tubes if the water was calm enough. The current would carry us far down the beach. Uh, Far down the beach, our house was just uh, a yellow speck far in the distance. Tristan always kept a change. He always kept change in his zippered pocket of his swim trunks, so we could each buy a cone of ice cream at the stand to eat while hiking back home. A splash of water snapped my mind back to the cruise ship's pool. Benny laughed and backed away. I tried to pretend I was mad, but a laugh escaped as I splashed her back. She ducked under the surface before the water could hit her, so I waited until she came up for air, then got her good. Before she could get me back, I took a deep breath and swam to the other side of the pool. I popped out of the water and held up my hand to signal Benny to stop. "Do you feel that?" I asked. She shrugged. "What?" She backed up a little as if she suspected my answer might be a splash to her face. I placed my hand flat on the surface. Something other than our splashing or the ship's engines was moving the water with the steady rhythm of music. It was still just us and the man on the float in the pool. Nothing I could see that could have been vibrating the water like a radio. "Music?" I signed. We talked so much about the whale song that was a sign that she picked up. "Oh, that." She pointed to something on the other side of the floating chair. I swam to see what she was talking about. A blue and white cylinder floated in the water next to the man. Benny swam up next to me and pointed at the object again, then signed "music." A speaker. There weren't any wires connected to it, so it must have been Bluetooth. My parents had one stuck to their shower wall with suction cups. The man's phone rested in a cup holder. The music that played from there was coming through the speaker. I signed "buy" and "here" to Benny to ask if the gift shop on board sold the speakers. She shook her head. The ship was still moving, sailing past mountains in the distance, but soon we'd stop in Icy Harbor. Benny waved to get my attention, but I held up a hand to ask her to wait. I didn't want to let go of the plan that was forming in my head. I imagined throwing a speaker into the water to play 55's song for him. Maybe I could really do it. The song was with me all the time, not just the memory of it from when I'd held my hand on the speaker while I played. The sound file was on my phone. I could play it for him if I just had a way to carry the sound to where he was swimming. If I'd had any idea I might need a speaker, I'd have brought one from home. I could throw the Bluetooth into the water after connecting the signal to my phone, or I would have salvaged parts from the radio in that Admiral set in my closet to make a speaker. Then I'd have a I'd have to make it waterproof somehow. Benny followed me when I climbed out of the pool to dry off and get my phone from my bag. I typed out a message and showed her my phone. "I want to get off in Icy Harbor after all. I need to get a few things." As soon as she read the message, I started making a list. She shook two she shook two O handshapes to remind me there was nothing there. No stores or good restaurants. I looked out at the town we were approaching. All I need is a junkyard.